Boston Celtics, Golden State Warriors. Let's talk about this and more on the Indian Celtics Show. Let's talk Celtics basketball. Hello and welcome along to another episode of the Indian Celtics Show. My name is Mohit Sharma and I am the host of the only podcast you need for the coverage of your Boston Celtics. You can find this podcast on Spotify and right here on YouTube. Make sure to give the channel a subscribe, hit the like button, hop into the comment section, and let's talk Celtics basketball. So on this episode of the Indian Celtics Show, I'll be talking about this good old-fashioned butt whooping by the Boston Celtics of the Golden State Warriors, which, as I said in the title, was for sure the most satisfying win of the season, because personally for many Celtics fans like me, this matchup is very important, especially what happened in the 2022 finals still lingers in our memory. And listen, I'll talk about this game, I'll talk about how the Celtics spanked the Warriors, but I'll not go talking disrespectful about the Golden State Warriors team and the players, because it's because of them and the lessons that they gave us 2 years ago that we are who we are today. And this is the only true dynasty of our time watching basketball. I mean, for the last 15 years, this is the only team that's won more than 2 championships. They won 4, so that's saying. And we're trying to get to what they've built. We're trying to get to what they've built over the years, trying to make our own dynasty, perhaps. Maybe the haters won't recognize, but I want the Celtics fans to recognize that. I'll talk about that later too. But first, let's start with the game recap. And there's nothing else to start with other than the mind-boggling strategy that the Warriors and Draymond Green, Steve Kerr and them came up with. Their strategy was to leave the man that signed the richest contract in NBA history, to leave him open. Yes, to leave him open. They decided to leave Jaylen Brown open so Draymond Green can hover around the basket and mess up their plays. I mean, it's such a ridiculous strategy, but to their credit, they kept it competitive for 6 minutes. Around 6 minutes 30, they called a timeout and it was 21-19 Celtics, and I wrote in my notes, a very confusing strategic choice by the Golden State Warriors, leaving Jaylen Brown open, and they've been lucky that the Celtics haven't blown this game up open yet. So after the timeout, Warriors come out, Steph Curry hits a nice pull-up mid-range for 2 points. 2 of his only 4 points, by the way, in the game. And yeah, the score was 21-21 with 6 minutes left. Yes, sir, it was 21-21. The game was tied with 6 minutes left in the first quarter. And do you guys want to know what happened next? What happened next was what I did in the intro. They were still leaving Jaylen Brown open. As the Celtics go, Jaylen Brown has a corner open 3, knocks it down. Jaylen Brown walks up to another 3, knocks it down. Next possession, another 3, knocks it down. 3 straight threes. There goes your strategy. And Sam Hauser, one of the main reasons I say that was disturbing strategy by the Golden State Warriors was not only because Jaylen Brown is capable of player as he is, it's because if you know anything about basketball, you know that shooting is contagious. And I know this very well because I'm a Celtics fan and no one shoots the ball as much as we do, especially from the 3-point land. Shooting being as contagious as it is, if you let one of our best players get into rhythm, knock shots down, especially one of the players that is our main emotional leader, that goes around the team. Now all the team is feeling good. Sam Hauser is knocking down shots. Later Tatum comes in, he's knocking down shots. Pritch is knocking down shots. White's knocking down shots. Cornet's giving energy. Shooting is the most contagious thing in basketball. And right after 3 threes from Jaylen Brown, Sam Hauser is hitting his 3, Luke Cornet is dunking the ball, and just like that, a 14-0 run from 21 to 21 is 35-41. Warriors have to call timeout again. They come out again. Celtics keep going. And out of nowhere, I mean, it was a 44-18. End of the first quarter, the Celtics were kicking Warriors, you know what. And that was just the beginning, because we didn't let up in the second quarter. We kept going, everybody kept going. Tatum, and one of the most impressive thing about this game, even though we were knocking down threes like we were, in the past year, it would have been, we would be forcing threes just based on how well we've been shooting, and that would come back and bite us in our butts. But this time around, we just stayed playing basketball. Not only that, you could see from the beginning how much this game meant to the Boston Celtics. They were fighting like dogs on the defensive end. Stephen Curry was forced to 2 air balls before the first time out of the game. They were on his you-know-what. Jaylen Brown, Jrue Holiday, Derek White, nobody was letting Curry free. He finished with only 4 points, maybe one of the worst halves of basketball he's ever played. And you could see this game meant so much, and you gave us more emotional energy by letting Jaylen Brown, by leaving him open and letting him get into a rhythm. This just spelled doom for the Warriors, even before they stepped into the floor with their strategy. And we kept our foot on the gas pedal, defensively like dogs, like I said, and offensively executing perfectly. Not forcing threes, Tatum attacking the basket, all of that. Man, it was such a beautiful, as I said in the title, this is definitely the most satisfying win of the season, given what is the history between these two teams, given what happened the last time we went to Warriors home and we lost that game. We had to get this revenge, and boy, did this revenge feel sweet. At the end of the first half, the score was 38-82. End of the first half, the score was 38-82. 42-point lead at the first half. The Warriors quit after that. Nobody returned. Steph didn't return, Clay didn't return, Draymond didn't return to the game. They weren't even on the bench. We saw them like after almost at the end of the third quarter. They were sitting in the locker room just trying to think what happened to them. That was crazy. The Celtics returned with their starting lineup, but not for long. After 4 or 5 minutes, all of them set, and officially the garbage time started like 7 minutes left in the third quarter. 19 minutes of basketball was garbage time in this game. That just tells you how much of a beatdown that game was. Let me shout out. I shouted out Jaylen Brown for stepping up and knocking those threes down and telling the Warriors to take their strategy up there, you know what, and run with it. And then Jason Tatum, commend him for playing Celtics basketball, and the energy of Jrue Holiday, Derek White, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis didn't even play in this game. Alright, I see that Wiggins for the other team didn't play, but Porzingis, our main cheat code that everyone says, did not even play in this game. And that was one of the most beautiful wins I've had as a Celtic fan in the regular season, at least. I loved every bit of it. And I'd like to shout out our bench, our stay ready group. Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser. Man, you don't become one of the best teams in the regular season of all time with just your starting lineup and with Al Horford. Not only with 6. You need 7, 8, 9, 10 players. And the energy that Peyton Pritchard has brought to this team since the beginning of the regular season has been immense. I'll go on record and say Peyton Pritchard is, in my eyes, one of the most underrated players in the league. Excuse me. And Sam Hauser, the way he shoots the ball, if you give him just a little bit of airspace, he's knocking it down. He was immense in this game. Luke Cornett, the energy he has brought, immense. The vibes that he brings, immense. O'Shea Brissett, his energy, his defense. And now we signed Xavier Tillman, a baby Al Horford. When you see him on the floor, it almost looks like it's Al Horford, but it's Xavier Tillman, and his IQ, like I said in the Mavericks game, his offensive IQ, his defensive effort is going to be huge for the Celtics in the remaining regular season games, and maybe, who knows, in the playoffs as well. Man, I'm so happy. This was a great game, and This is what I like to say to the Celtics fans watching this game. The haters will never jump on ship. They will never acknowledge how well the Celtics are doing unless we win the championship. Nobody was talking about the Denver Nuggets before they won the championship. And watch how everyone is on their bandwagon now. And they will come on the bandwagon eventually when we eventually win the championship. But us Celtics fans, we can at least enjoy this journey. And this journey has been so beautiful this year. This is one of the best regular season teams of all time. One of the best net rating teams. One of the best offensive rating team of all time. One of the best defensive rating team. Everything. The Celtics team is top 10 regular season team of all time in every metric you want to see. And I really don't think that many Celtics fans are appreciating just how good this team has been. This is my only appeal to the Celtics fan. Watch as many games as you can and appreciate and enjoy this journey. It's not a lot you get this quality of teams to root for. And this Celtics team, when I say quality, has quality. And of course, the question always comes up, will we win the championship? I really do believe that this team is built for the championship. I really do believe that the Celtics and the Nuggets are on the collision course for the NBA championship. And they will meet in the finals in June. And the Celtics and Nuggets, talking about that, they will play this Friday. So I'm really excited for that game. Maybe, like I said, is a finals preview. And I will for sure cover that game. We're going to go on a road trip now, and it's a strong road trip. We start at Cleveland, then at Denver, then at Phoenix. And we're on an 11-game win streak. And let me just say, we will eventually lose one game, but you don't... And then the haters will come out, but the Celtics fans, we don't have to fall into the trap and of this media banter and just think that, oh, here we go again, the Celtics lost. Come on. Teams lose, this will eventually happen. So I'm just preparing you for that, but I don't want to kill the vibes. It's immense right now. We're going to go at Cavs, and then we're going to go at Nuggets. So I'll be here right after, no, maybe not right after, but the day of the Nuggets Celtics games to cover the finals preview game. That's it. That was my recap of the Celtics Warriors 52-point blowout win. And I'd like to thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for sharing the podcast. Please make sure to give this video a like. Share this podcast as much as you can, however you can. Especially to Celtics fans, especially to NBA fans, especially to Warriors. I almost forgot to mention I had receipts. Liam Cohen, Sixers Lovers Podcast, goes on his podcast predicting a 5-point Golden State Warriors win. I don't even know what he's doing predicting Celtics games on a Sixers podcast, but I'll let him be. He's trying to get his, podcast going any way possible. But really, bro? Really? A 5-point Warriors win? You can't be this bad with predictions. It'll turn out to be 52-point Celtics win. My brother Sumit Sharma, big time Golden State Warriors fan, talking all that smoke, all that smack in the Celtics Mavericks recap video of mine. He's not even replying to the videos I'm sending of Stephen Curry talking about how great the Celtics are after the game. He's not even replying. The plan was to get him into this podcast and so we too can recap this game, but he ain't even replying to the videos, let alone being on the podcast. Man, I've had many Stephen Curry fans talking all that smack. I'm not going to talk smack about Curry, but this was coming. Jaylen Brown said, we feel our time is now. The Warriors for sure understood the Celtics are here, and the league understands the Celtics are here. The haters don't. The league does. And I'm not saying that we're going to run away and win the championship, but we definitely are the favorites. For sure in the East. And when the Nuggets come, and when the Nuggets and the Celtics come face to face in the championship, for me, in my eyes, it would be like an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. We'll see about that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. This was another episode of the Indian Celtics Show. Let's talk Celtics basketball.